All right, so this is our Algebra 2 classroom agreement. In every class, you'll have an agreement of some sort that you'll have a page that you sign at the end. But this term I tried a little bit different just to include kind of our classroom specific rules and policies because I know every class is different, every teacher is different. And I never liked to be kind of guessing what the teacher wants from me. So I just want to tell you, and I want you to have it on paper so that there is no question, you know. So first of all, my name is Miss Taylor Gable. It's pronounced Gable. A lot of people try to say Goble. Good morning.
I said that earlier. She asked me who my teacher was. I was looking up.
It's all right. It's Gable. Now you know.
Exactly who I was talking about.
So underneath here, this is a great paper to keep because if you ever need to get a hold of me, you can email me at tgable@goodwilleducates.org, or if you call this number, the 812-474-2222, that's our school phone number. Whenever it asks you for an extension, if you type 333, that will literally route you to my cell phone. I've had students call me right before class and literally say, my car broke down. I'm on the side of the road. I need to not be there today. Okay, thanks for telling me. I mean, that stinks, but it gives you a way to communicate with me if you can't sit down and type an email out. So please feel free to use that. And then, of course, on Fridays, I am always here and available to help during office hours. That's from 9 until noon, which if you have taken other classes here, you're familiar with that already. The next thing is our Google Classroom code. This is very important. So I would actually love right now for all of you, if you have a smartphone, go ahead and get that out. And I want to guide you guys through getting onto our Google Classroom if you have not already. If you do not have a smartphone, I would love for you to grab a computer from the back of the room. Either one works just as good. I'm always going to encourage you to get it on your phone though, because if I ever make an announcement to you, it gives you a notification just like you're getting a text message. So let me see here. Okay, so if you get on your phone, you should be able to get a Google Classroom app. And this is like what my screen looks like because I have both of these classes. Is anyone in here unfamiliar with Google Classroom? Has anyone never ever used it before? Everybody's used it? Okay, that's awesome. So if you are in the Google Classroom app or on your computer, just look for Google Classroom. There should be a place where you can type in a classroom code on the app. It's this little plus sign at the bottom right-hand corner. And you'll have the option to join class. And that's what you'll click. And it'll give you this little class code box to type. And you're going to type in this code here that I put on your agreement page. And that code, if anybody has trouble reading it, you just let me know. I tried to make it nice and big. It's RXSJ7KKN. And what I'm going to do is pull up this class and make sure everybody is in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like 6 of you have already got it. So I will pause this recording so that we can all get in Google Classroom and then we'll move on. Okay, so now that we are all in Google Classroom, one thing I want to show you is just a quick example of what you'll see each week. So if you've already had me as a teacher, this will look very familiar. If not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my archived classes and I'm going to put my phone on Do Not Disturb because my in-laws are blowing my phone up. So I'm going to go back to last term, what a post might look like. Basically, let me go back to an older post. We will always have Wow, it was just glitching out on me. Like a weekly post. So for example, this was near the end of the term, last term, and I had posted that it was week 7. I'll give you the dates for that week, and then I like to count our class days by actual days. So like today is day 1, tomorrow day 2, next day is 3, and then Thursday is day 4. So we've got like 4-day weeks together. And I will always label our assignments with those days. If you ever want to keep track on your own, I also, on that bulletin board at the front of the room, have a big calendar printed out and behind my desk with the day numbers labeled so that you know what date they fall on. That's more of a organizational thing for me. It's okay if you're not sure what quote unquote day it is. I'll always tell you at the beginning of class. And then what you'll see in this weekly post is a list of the topics that we will be working on. So for example, in this week, we were working on absolute value. You'll learn about that one day. Sounds a little scary, but I promise you it's not. You'll like it. And then I will also include all of the assignments that are due for that week. And in this class, I like to make all of my assignments due on Fridays every week. So you never have to question, when is this due? Well, if I assign it this week, it's due this Friday. And then attached to that weekly post will be all of the lessons that I taught that week. And it will literally just be a little, you click on it, and there is the video. So you will literally be able to see it on the video exactly as you're seeing it here in class. You can go back and watch this agreement later if you want. Some students like to rewatch videos if something didn't make sense. It really can be helpful. So let's talk about attendance. This is very important, and I feel like I didn't do the most wonderful job communicating this last term. So I want to be more, what's the word I'm thinking of? Intentional about it.
Specific.
Yeah, I want to be specific about it so you know what to expect. So basically, each day that we meet as a class, Monday through Thursday, not Fridays, you will receive a grade for attendance. Basically, if you are here, you're present in class, you're going to get 5 out of 5 points for that day. If you are absent, but you communicate with me, you will be exempt for that day, meaning it will not affect your grade. I'm not gonna take points off of your grade if you have to work, because if you've communicated that with me, it's fine. Okay, as long as you are telling me. Now, if you are absent and you don't tell me in advance, that would be a 0 for the day, which would negatively impact your grade. So the major question I would get is what counts as communication? You have a few options. You can send me an email, which that email again is at the top of this agreement page. You can make a post on Google Classroom. You can call me. I don't know if you can text that number, but just get a hold of me in some way before class begins. Just give me a short little explanation for why you can't be here, and I'm happy to excuse you for that day. Do we have any questions about that? I know that can be sticky in special circumstances, but yes.
Being late doesn't count.
I'm gonna say being late. No, that doesn't really count. Like, I'm not gonna give you a 0 for being late. Do I want you to be on time? It'd be wonderful, but I'm kind of notorious for being late. So my my philosophy is I am going to give you guys the grace that I would want to be given. And I'm human. I am not perfect. I just put forth some effort. Show me that you're trying. If you're showing up every single day an hour late, I don't know that it would be ethical for me to give you all 5 out of 5 points for being here. I've definitely had some instances where a student was only showing up to half of class and not telling me why. You're probably going to only get half of your attendance points for that. That's a really good question. Do we have any other questions at all? Something else to note is I am very, very understanding. I don't expect you guys to be perfect. I am not perfect. I'm gonna mess up. Give me grace. I'll give you grace. We're a team. It'll be a good term. Okay. And of course, if you do come up with other questions, just let me know. We can always go back to that. So the next section is assignment grades. So each day you will complete an exit ticket, is what I call them, at the end of class. And all of these exit tickets assigned for the week are due on Fridays at 12 p.m. Remember, we do not have classes on Fridays. So I do not assign homework ever. I don't believe in homework. I think that you should be able to complete everything that I assign you in class. You guys have lives outside of this. This is supposed to be an accessible program for you guys. My goal is not for you all to leave this room as professional mathematicians ready to enter the world of engineering. I want you to get your diploma, okay? And that doesn't mean I'm going to water things down and not give you a valid, proper, good education, but it does mean that, my goal is just to give you a really solid foundation and make sure that you understand these concepts so that you can expand upon them later if you decide to do that. My goal is not to make this a class that everybody is struggling and stressing out and feeling like they're gonna go crazy. My goal is for all of you to know exactly what's going on. And if you don't, my goal is for you to feel comfortable enough to tell me that. Because that's my goal, is for you all, again, just to be able to feel safe in saying that I don't understand this. And then we can talk about it, because I love answering questions, and I love it whenever you guys tell me that you need my help, because that's my job. I'm here to help you. So there is a policy I've come up with for late work. If you turn in your assignments on time, that is before Friday, the highest score you can get is 100%. Now, if you turn in your assignment after Friday, meaning the last assignment, let's say it was on Wednesday, Thursday comes around, you don't turn it in. Friday comes around, it was due that day, you don't turn it in. Monday comes around, that's one day late. The highest grade you can get, even if you answer everything correctly, would be at that point a 90%, which is still an A minus. That's not a bad grade. I don't think that it's fair for me to just say if it's late, you get a 0. I do want to offer you the chance to, still earn points. But the longer you wait, the lower your highest grade will get. So if you do wait 5 days, which is over a week past the due date, because I'm only counting class days, at that point, you would get an incomplete on that assignment, even if you completed it all correctly. Do we have any questions about that policy? As you're maybe thinking of possible questions you might have, something else I want to mention is that as much as this is a policy, again, I am willing to be understanding if you communicate with me. I understand that life happens, emergencies happen. If something comes up where it is Friday, it's almost 12 p.m., and you are out helping a family member and you're thinking, I am not going to finish this assignment on time, let me know. If you ask me, my answer is likely going to be yes, because I get it, promise. So just communicate with me. That is the key to doing well in this class. Communicate with me. So I'll let that marinate for a moment. Yes.
What exactly is the exit ticket? Completing the assignment, turning it in to move on to the next one?
Yes. So I'll show you an example. Exit tickets are not meant to be scary. They are kind of just, usually it's 1 or 2 math problems that show me that you understand the lesson I taught you today. So let me give you an example of an exit ticket from last term. Let's see. Okay, so for example, this was near the end of the term. This was an exit ticket that I gave out last term. It's one problem. Your day 21 exit ticket was to graph that equation and label 5 coordinates. And that's your assignment for that day, because that's what our whole lesson was about. If you can prove you can do that, you're showing me that you get it, and then we can move forward. So I don't know if this helps just to see a visual of it. Every day it'll be a little different. And usually I make the exit tickets right in front of you because it kind of, what I find is like with different groups of students, it's really hard to predict exactly what we will end up covering in a lesson, because I have some groups that I'm like, okay, we're going to get to this point, and then wow, these are very advanced students and we're getting way further than I thought. Or there comes in a group where I had 5 students that hadn't been to school in 12 years. And so that group needed a little more practice on some basic skills. So we didn't get as far as I thought. So it really is just going to depend, but it's not going to be some long packet that you're completing every week. I just show me that you can solve the problem I'm teaching you. And that's really it. I'm not trying to make it an impossible task to pass this class. So any other questions about assignments?
You do bell ringers?
Bell ringers. Yes, we call those do nows.
Oh,
Yes, yes. So we do have a do now. Like today's do now
Is
was to get your folder. And so if you were here in your present, you got your folder down, you got your little 5 points for that and for attendance. I kind of grouped that in together. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, we'll go ahead and flip that page over to the back side. And this is another kind of thing about assignments that I always like to do. And here is corrections. So let's say you complete an exit ticket. You totally bomb it. You do really bad. That's okay. If you're not happy with the grade that you earn on an assignment or a quiz, you can make corrections and you can turn that assignment back in. So on those assignments, you can receive half credit for all the properly corrected mistakes. So for example, let's say you got -3 points on an assignment. You look at those things that you got wrong, you try to fix them, you turn them back in, you get them all right. You can earn half of those points back, which would be 1.5 points. The only exception here is that assignments turned in late, so past the due date, are not eligible for corrections. All your corrections have to be completed by Friday at 12 p.m., which should not be too difficult. In a normal week, you'll have maybe 3 or 4 assignments, 1 per day. And those assignments are usually maybe 2 problems each. So at the end of the day, it's like 8 problems, not that bad. Now, it is a fast-paced class, so we are moving on to different topics each day, but I'm not asking you to complete lengthy assignments for graded work, if that makes sense. All of the lengthy stuff we'll be doing more as a class. Questions about corrections? This applies to quizzes as well, by the way. All your quizzes will be open note, so taking good notes is very important. Open note quizzes are very helpful. My philosophy behind that is honestly, I don't believe in memorizing things because I have a terrible memory. Never been great at that kind of thing.
Study like directly right before for like an hour straight, write down everything, and then as soon as I take the test, it's like
right. Well, and there is such a thing as testing anxiety. It is truly a real thing where you get in, you know the stuff, you sit down, and it's like you're having memory loss. Your brain wipes everything that you just learned.
Very discouraging.
Right. It is. It is discouraging. And, you know, in the real world, you're not expected to memorize everything. You can have notes on your phone. You can have a little notebook with you by your side. I want it to be the same in this class. But, you know, do keep in mind if you are somebody that is planning to move on to college after this, it will likely not be like that in college. I know a lot of certifications and tests that they have you do. they don't allow you to have open notes. So I don't want to set you guys up for failure, but I want you to be aware that in this class, I just think that's an unfair standard to hold anybody to. I think it's unfair they do it in college. I wish they would change that in a lot of classes, but in here, I'm going to let you use your notes.
That taught me how to take notes better.
Right.
Like Sylvia did it so well because she would bring up how you have sticky notes and everything.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I feel so much better about taking notes since
Good.
having to take notes all the time.
Good. Yes, if there's anything you'll learn in here, it's how to take good notes. Because the best way to know what to have for your quizzes and assignments is to just write everything that I write. Right? Everything I write. Unless I tell you you don't need to write it. And I was always the kid in class in high school that was trying to write their notes and make them look pretty, and then the teacher would move on, and then I'm freaking out, and then I'm shutting down because my notes aren't going to be perfect because I missed that word. Please tell me if you need more time to copy something down, and I won't ever be mad because I'm happy to wait. It's no problem. No problem at all. Do we have any other questions about that, about taking notes, assignments, quizzes, making corrections to assignments, anything like that? And I'm going to let that marinate. Sometimes a question pops up. Okay. And for now, this is the last thing I have included as my unique part of the classroom agreement. Because this is a question I get a lot. How do I get caught up if I miss class? I'm going to have this conversation with about 14 people over there on that wall. So the biggest answer to that is to check Google Classroom. Every single week, just like I showed you earlier, I have that post with all the assignments that are due on that Friday. Keep in mind that this post may be updated throughout the week. Meaning maybe today I have on there, let's see, let me pause. I don't know if I made a post for you guys or not yet. I don't think I have. Yep, no post. So obviously I'm going to update that today or tomorrow, and that will change. So just make sure that that's something you're checking. But another thing that I will also do is on the whiteboard at the front of the room, right next to your folders, I'm always going to write the same assignments that I put on Google Classroom on the board. That way, if you're somebody that struggles to look things up on technology, it's available in writing in the room as well. So if you're here and you are paying attention, you won't get behind. And even if there's a day that you can't be here, you're feeling behind, it's always on Google Classroom or written on the wall for you to see. Good morning. You should have a folder with your name on it. Just grab that when you're ready. Okay. And then the other thing that we did already talk about as well is that every lesson I teach is recorded and posted on Google Classroom each day. But please know, if you miss a day of class, I cannot stress this enough. It is your responsibility to watch the lesson video from the day you missed so you don't get too far behind. This class, Algebra 2, is one of the more intense math classes you will take. I do preface this class with that because it moves pretty quickly. One day we learn one thing, we may practice for another day, but we do have a lot of stuff to cover, so you need to stay caught up. If you are having trouble accessing those videos and you are not here, talk to me. I'm happy to work with you. But if you are just skipping days and then you come in 5 days later and try to ask me in the middle of a new lesson, I don't get this. Okay, did you watch the lesson videos that you weren't here for? That's the first thing I'm going to ask you is, did you watch the lesson videos? Because I already taught everything to you, and it is available to you. That's not to say that I don't want to help you. I do. I really do. It's just that we have so many things to learn this term that if I were to stop every single time somebody missed a day to catch them up, nobody else in this room is going to be able to progress to where we need to get. So if you're having trouble with getting access to those videos, please talk to me. The other thing is Fridays, coming on Fridays. That's a great time for me to help you get caught up. And of course, communicate with me. I want you to do well in this class. So if you are struggling, tell me and I will help you. It's literally my job. So, any questions, comments, concerns about that? If any questions pop up later, don't be afraid to ask. I'm happy to answer. We'll go ahead and flip to the rest of this agreement, and there's a lot. Okay, this is going to be copy paste on every other teacher's agreement in this building. They're all going to have a student conduct section, electronic devices, academic integrity, blah, 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 academic dishonesty, reporting. I really would like to not waste our time reading through every single thing on here just because I'm sure you've heard it before. If not, you are welcome to read this whenever you please. Basically, the main points that I want to point out that out of these things listed, what's going to bother me? If you want to know as a teacher, what is going to make me not super happy with you as a student? So I want to tell you those things. I'll let you know that. You can also let me know if there's any things that are going to bother you as a student. If there's something that like teachers do that really irks you and is a huge pet peeve, let me know. I would hate to be doing that thing every single day and you're walking in like, oh my God, what is she doing? Tell me, guys, okay? I do things sometimes and I don't realize they're annoying. Just tell me. I'm not gonna get my feelings hurt. I'm gonna say honestly, the main thing about the student conduct that is gonna bother me, first of all, leaving my space better than I found it. Please do not be that student that comes in this room, leaves shit everywhere. Excuse my French. Leaves your trash all over the place. Leaves pages ripped out of a notebook, leaves eraser shavings all over your table. Let's respect the space because you are not the only person using this space. We do have students coming in after you for geometry, and they also deserve to come into a nice clean room. So don't be leaving stuff everywhere. I feel like that's just common courtesy. So that will bother me if you make my room messy and nasty. Let's see. Step outside of the room if you need to take a phone call. Don't be on the phone while I'm teaching. I understand sometimes you have an emergency call that just happens to come in and you got to take it. Go take it. It's fine. I get it. I'm going to have, I'm sure, a call or two at some point in this term where I have to step away from teaching to talk to someone. That does not bother me at all. It does bother me if you answer the phone in the middle of class and you disrupt the whole class. Just take it outside. You don't even have to ask. You can go. That's fine. Not my business. Yeah, I think those are kind of the two big things for me is keeping the class clean and being respectful, not to be blasting music or talking to people on the phone in here. And that goes hand in hand with the electronic devices. Silence your phone while you're in here. If your phone dings, this is an adult high school. I'm not going to confiscate your phone, but I might give you a look like, come on. Told you to put it on silent. Yeah, it's fine if it happens. Just if it goes off, put it on silent. All right, after. Using headphones, if you're going to be watching a show, I don't know. Some people get done with their work early and they're in the back of the room watching a show. That's fine. Put headphones on. Okay, because it's very disruptive to others if you are playing that out loud. Testing time. I'll remind you of this whenever we do take a quiz. I have had instances of students cheating in the past. So if you are caught cheating, you will receive a 0 on that assignment. If you don't want to get caught cheating, first of all, there's no reason to cheat in here because it's open notes. If you have been here in class, you've taken your notes, you're going to do excellent on your quizzes. Your phone is going to be face down on the table during quizzes. So I will always be reminding you of that. And then academic integrity. This is honestly not as relevant to math, in my opinion, because plagiarism is more like copying someone's words, and I'm not having you write essays in here. We're not doing as many word things, it's all numbers. But it is important to point out that cheating is a big pet peeve of mine. If I catch you cheating, to me, it feels like you're lying to me, okay? I am never going to judge a student for not understanding material, ever, because I don't expect you to come in here knowing this stuff. I'm here to teach it to you. You may come in having no idea what's going on. My goal is by the end, you will know what's going on, as long as you've been taking notes, paying attention, putting an effort in. What I don't love is for you to pass off someone else's work as your own, meaning you copy their answers just to get the grade done. I can usually tell if it's not your work, and you will get a 0 on that. So just don't do it. It's okay. If you need help, let me know. I'm happy to help. And then reporting of academic dishonesty. I want y'all to be tattletales. Tell on each other. Maybe don't. I don't know. It's everybody's got their own moral compass. I can't pretend I've never cheated on something in my life. I bet all of you have done it. Maybe not. Maybe some of you are like really, really good at following rules. Don't do it in here. If you do see somebody cheating, I am going to appreciate if you let me know so that I can talk to that student. But at the same time, don't be the student that's like causing a bunch of drama because you saw somebody cheating. Maybe just have a private conversation with me about it and I can privately talk to that student. I'm not going to tell them that you told me, but I would appreciate if you guys tell me, if you see something, say something. So that's our agreement. Do we have any questions about any of that? Any of that at all? It was a lot. I'll let that sit for a minute. Just think. All right. Well, let's go ahead and put that to the side. This is the last page of your agreement. This is your day 1 exit ticket. Your first grade in this class. Easy peasy. So I already have this not attached to the stapled pages because this is what you will turn into me. This packet is for you to keep in your folders up at the front of the room. Those folders are like your mailboxes. That's where I will put in things that I grade or things that I'm assigning to you. Whenever you turn things into me, underneath our smartboard, you will notice 2 trays, and there's little signs that say turn in assignments here. That is where you turn in your work. So your first assignment is this signature page. It says attendance in class is extremely important. If you anticipate any absences during this term, please list them below. So this is a great spot to write. For example, let's say I work Tuesdays. Like every Tuesday, I'm going to be gone. So I'm going to write, I work Tuesdays, absent every week. If you tell me that in advance, I'm not going to let that Tuesday of absence every single week hurt your grade. Because this counts as communication as well. You need to put any appointments that you know of. Now, if something pops up that you don't know about today, but maybe a couple weeks from now, you're going to have a doctor's appointment, you can always tell me things later. or if your work schedule changes. But this is where you should go ahead and write anything that you know you won't be here for, so that I can excuse that for you and it won't affect your grade. And underneath that, it just says, please list anything else you would like me to know. This section is for anything. Doesn't have to be school related. I have some students write things like, please don't call on me. I get really anxious. Thank you for letting me know. I won't call on you. Some students like to just tell me, could be math related, could be not math related. Some students tell me medical conditions that they want me to be aware of. You could also leave it blank. If there's nothing you want to tell me, that's perfectly fine too. But it is just a space to put anything you do want me to know. This is private. I won't share it with anybody except for, of course, if you write something about you or someone else, for example, being in danger, I do have to report that. Mandated reporters, teachers. Okay. So I don't want to tell you that I will keep everything under lock and key, because of course your safety is my number one priority as well. But, that's what we deal with in elementary schools normally. So that is a space for you to tell me anything you want. And then you just need to print your name. In case anybody forgot what that means, you're just writing it. Taylor Gable is what I would write. That's my printed name. And then signature. This is where you do some cursive, or if you have a fancy signature and you're really cool, you can do that for me. And then if you're famous one day, I have your autograph. So, and then the date, if you decide to turn this in today, today's date is October the 6th. So 10/6/25. So once you are finished with this, you can turn that into me. And what we're going to do right now is I am going to give you guys about 10 minutes. Thank you, Brandon. To fill this out, to take a break if you need, and just to, take a look at your calendar, see if there's days you know of. But for now, this is going to be our little break time. Every day I'll give you a little 10-15 minute break in between. Let's say we'll come back at 10:15 in a little over 10 minutes.